joining us today for this opportunity to fine-tune your skills and, as you've seen, to get to know your fellow Calbright students. My name is Denise Tamal, career coach, counselor, and your presenter today. And I'd like to introduce Priya Soda.
Priya Soda here, Director of Partnerships at Calbright. I oversee the work here at Career Services. I'll do a little bit about what Career Services is because I know some of you might be wondering what that is. You can access our page on your portal. You have access to handouts and resources throughout your journey here. It'll help you in your job search and prepare you for interviews. It's always great to continue to go back to it and review and kind of get yourself prepared as you're thinking about your career. We offer career coaching, as Denise said, with either Denise or I to review your resume, cover letter. You can review it at any point in your experience, enhance your LinkedIn presence, help you with networking, and we host industry events and workshops. So this is one of our workshops. We'll be sharing a little bit more about an upcoming workshop at the end of this presentation. We do have an industry event next Thursday if you haven't signed up for it yet. So we'll also share that RSVP link for you at the end of this workshop. Our goal is to support you in your career journey. You can access Career Services at any point as a reminder. This workshop will give you a chance to practice some of the stuff we covered. So we invite you to take a pen or a paper or something to write on and write down any questions as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. We have left some space at the end to do a little Q&A so we can make sure to answer all of those. You'll also receive an email at the end of this workshop with a lot of the handouts and the recording of this. So if you've missed anything, no worries. This will come to you in an email as well.
Thank you so much, Priya. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that this is a heavy time, as we discussed, due to the pandemic, the racial reckoning taking place in our country, and the general sense of uncertainty that we're experiencing. But I'd like to highlight that we are experiencing this together. If you need any additional support besides academic support, please let us know privately in the Zoom chat through email or by giving us a call. We're here to support you. We celebrate your courage to embark on a career transition. We commit to supporting you with resources and being courageous in advocating for your needs, flexible and open to your feedback to improve our offerings and our support for your journey. Today, we'll cover the context of the job search, identifying your roles that align with your pathway, whether it be IT or cybersecurity. We're focusing on these two today, but what we will share regarding the job search process is applicable to any pathway. We'll also share strategies for engaging in career-related online research, identifying your relevant transferable skills, updating your job search materials, and finally, optimizing your online job search. If you have any questions, as Priya mentioned, please type them in the chat and we will either answer them here or connect with you after the workshop. The context of your job search. You may not realize that employers are managing change just like you. So if you're experiencing delays when submitting an application or not receiving immediate communication from an employer, all is not lost. Instead of thinking of worst case scenario, consider that employers are currently moving their operations to online platforms for remote work or making other drastic changes to their processes and continue to apply to jobs that are a good fit for you. Your digital footprint matters even more now. In recent statistics, LinkedIn noted that more than 70% of employers find and view your online profile while reviewing your job application. Therefore, your online presence is critical to the job search. Soft skills are in high demand. One of the most important things to consider before applying to any position is highlighting your soft skills. The world of work is changing rapidly, and the need for people with evolving soft skills to meet the moment is growing rapidly as well. Remote work is on the rise, and now that more and more companies are offering remote work, job opportunities are open to an increasing pool of applicants who may not be limited by local boundaries. So let's use this information as a motivator to increase our efforts in planning a strategic and effective job search. Before discussing our next slide, I'd like to share with you that our presentation is based on the needs expressed by Calbright students in our coaching calls. During these calls, students have expressed a need to understand what roles they qualify for, what these roles entail, and what a job announcement for a truly entry-level position in IT or cybersecurity looks like. There are jobs that can't claim to be entry-level and yet ask for experience in the field. My goal with the next few slides is to address these, our most common questions from the beginning. Now, here are roles that align with the IT pathway: help desk technician, desktop support technician, field service technician, and technical support specialist. When conducting your job search, focus on these specific roles or similar, and don't forget that entry-level positions get your foot in the door. So now that we've identified roles, it's a good idea to use at least one of the following websites for specific and detailed information regarding your general job duties. You'll also learn about opportunities for advancement, important qualities of prospective applicants, and the typical work environment. Make sure to note the occupational outlook, which can help you understand how saturated your field is. So if your occupational outlook is low, that means that there are not going to be many positions opening up in that field. If it's high, that means that a lot of positions will be available, and spoiler alert, your fields of IT and cybersecurity are growing faster than average. So there will be ample opportunities for employment. And that's not so in every field. For example, in computer programming, jobs are actually declining by 9%. You may also want to join professional organizations in your field, which can provide more information about prospective job roles, and students usually get a discount to join. Please take a screenshot if you'd like of this slide, even though we will be sending out this PowerPoint to you. And that goes for all the slides. We'll be sending out a PowerPoint, so you don't need to worry about copying exact language or anything like that. Now let's explore the job duties of a help desk technician. The Occupational Outlook Handbook, or BLS.gov, states that as a help desk technician, you'll pay attention to customers' descriptions of their computer problems, ask customers questions to properly diagnose their problems, walk customers through the recommended problem-solving steps, set up or prepare or repair computer equipment and related devices, train users to work with new computer hardware or software, and provide team members and managers with information about customer concerns. This position is ideal for a quick learner who is patient, resourceful, and a methodical problem solver. What does an entry-level job announcement look like for this role? We'll open this link and drop it in the chat for you. So as you can see, if we scroll to the responsibilities, they align well with what we've read in BLS.gov. The job requirements here are: serve as the first point of contact to customers seeking technical assistance over phone or email, perform remote troubleshooting through diagnostic techniques and pertinent questions, determine the best solution based on the issue and details provided by the customers, walk the customers through the problem-solving process, and direct unresolved issues to the next level support personnel, and so on. So there are other ones there that you can read on your own time after the workshop. And let's take a look at the requirements. So proven experience as a help desk technician or other customer service role, tech savvy with working knowledge of office automation products, good understanding of computer systems, ability to diagnose and resolve basic technical issues, proficiency in English, excellent communication skills, customer-oriented, and cool-tempered. So now I would like you to notice that it says, or other customer service role, right? So when I've talked to students, often it's easy to get discouraged, especially if they see entry-level positions and it says a year of experience. But there are a variety of roles that don't require that, and they say something like this. But if I were to come into the job search feeling defeated, then I would read the first few words and then move on to the next description and think, you know, great, this is another entry-level position that needs experience, and this is a catch-22, right? So just be aware of your mindset when you're starting your job search and you're going through your job search. Cultivate patience, be detail-oriented, and this will help you make sure that you have your eyes open to the opportunities that are around you. And even when you do run up against any of these job announcements that require a couple of years of experience, use that to your advantage and take note of what they're looking for. Create a vision for your next role, knowing that these positions will be a better fit for you very soon. Your vision will inform what types of professional development activities you engage in while you're in your entry-level job. As they say, if you don't have a vision for yourself, you'll always be serving the vision of someone else. So here's a job announcement for a position with Yelp as a help desk technician, which requires 2 to 3 years of experience. We'll drop that in the chat and you can review that later. The roles that align with your pathway, if you're in cybersecurity, are junior IT auditor, or penetration specialist, security consultant, information security specialist, or sometimes it's just security specialist, and security administrator. Just a reminder, look for those entry-level positions. And the Occupational Outlook Handbook states that for an entry-level or junior security specialist, your duties will be monitor an organization's network for security breaches and investigate them, install and use software to protect sensitive information, document security breaches and damage caused, conduct penetration testing for vulnerabilities, and research the latest IT security trends, develop security standards and best practices, and finally help users install or learn about security products. Let's take a look at information security specialist. We'll open this link and drop it in the chat for you now. This company caught my eye because it's a small mobile app retailer getting ready to scale. So you will have a big impact on the company. And it's a truly entry-level position. They offer the opportunity to wear many hats, so your job will never be boring. The description of your duties aligns with what we expect from an entry-level cybersecurity position based on our research. And if you notice the requirements, it clearly states the job is for someone with security education, formal or informal. And the other requirements mentioned are covered in your cybersecurity program. So this is the job you can apply to before acquiring your Security Plus certification. Nevertheless, it's always best to exceed the minimum requirements, taking into account your competition, to set yourself apart. So we recommend completing your certification exams through CompTIA as soon as possible after completing your pathway. Remember that you can reach out to a career coach if you need support in understanding the job requirements, and make sure that the job is indeed a good fit for you.
And Denise, can I throw in one thing too?
Yes.
This is also great if you have some additional time after this to kind of look at this website, because on the left-hand side, I want to reiterate right here, if you're searching on Google, here's a list of jobs here, right? And you're going to see them overlap between information security specialist, cybersecurity network admin. Take a look at these, even if you may not be feeling like applying today. It gives you an understanding of what you want to think about, the skills you want to think about, the questions you might want to ask your instructors as you're at Calbright, the courses you're in about these descriptions, because it's you're kind of reverse engineering this so that you are, creating yourself to apply and to match these descriptions. So once you finish here, you feel already successful, you feel confident, and you can go to any of these job descriptions and apply. So take some time to go through this, because there's a ton of companies here you might be surprised that are hiring right now.
Thank you, Priya. Since you have previous work experience, you offer much more than meets the eye. Have you worked in or do you have an interest in any of these industries? Transportation, education, communication, retail, technology, entertainment, healthcare, or financial services? Leverage your experience by seeking IT or cybersecurity jobs within these sectors. These are sectors with a high need for IT and cybersecurity professionals at the moment. When thinking of your areas of previous experience and interest, remember to take stock of your transferable skills. Transferable skills are those hard and soft skills that you can translate to many occupations. Your transferable skills can set you apart, so take time to identify them through reflecting on your accomplishments and contributions to previous roles. We have a handout with a list of transferable skills that can help you, and which we'll drop in the chat right now. So now we're more than halfway through the presentation. Before we continue, I'd like to give you a chance to stand up, stretch, give your eyes a little rest. So we'll do that now. So I hope that that break felt good to you, felt good to me. So we'll continue now with transferable skills. So here's a list of transferable skills depending on your pathway. Identifying these skills will help you leverage them when customizing your resume and cover letter for your pivot. However, make sure that you use these categories to identify more specific skills, which can prevent them from appearing generic. For example, if your skills are working with, that you're good at working with people in difficult situations, consider writing expertise in de-escalation and conflict management versus the common good listener to set yourself apart. The only time when it's okay to use a generic skill-related phrase is if the job description specifically asks for it. And in that case, you can go into more detail in your cover letter. Now let's discuss your pivot. Each of you are transitioning into IT or cybersecurity from a different field, but remember that you have or are in the process of completing your program and your A+ certification or your Security Plus certification. Therefore, it's no exaggeration to say that you're a rising IT or cybersecurity professional. Before an employer sees you as a potential asset to their company, you must see yourself in that role. Believe in yourself and commit to your new path. To illustrate, say you are an employer. Which statement would you prefer? Educational professional with experience in customer service, looking to start a new career in IT, or rising IT professional with expertise in high-touch customer-centered service and technical teaching skills. So I would definitely go for the second one. The first one has an outdated objective that focuses on what the job seeker desires. The second one has a professional summary that's focused on transferable skills and high demand, which we have to offer the employer. When writing your professional summary, it's really important to take time to reflect on your strengths and to speak with a friend or a career coach who can help you verbalize your strengths. And of course, we're here to help you with that. This slide also addresses a need that we often see in our coaching calls. Students want to up-level their resume. The STAR method is super helpful in taking your resume to the next level. It focuses on highlighting your accomplishments and your impact, not just your responsibilities. This can really help employers notice your transferable skills. Remember to present yourself credibly. You need to have evidence for claims that you make with examples. It's not enough to say that you're a leader, an effective communicator, or a team player. You need to show it, and recruiters are looking for your accomplishments. So these are examples of bullets that have gone through the STAR method. Something that read before led product sales now reads grew product sales by 80% in 6 months by implementing a new training program, sales techniques, and marketing strategies. So you can see the difference there. And this next bullet read provided customer service, and it becomes served up to 25 customers per hour and reconciled transactions of up to 100,000 per business day. If you need support with applying the STAR method to your resume, make an appointment with a career coach and we'll be happy to walk you through this process. When applying to jobs, quality is more important than quantity because you're more likely to get a response from an employer when your resume is tailored to the position. So tailor your resume, not just to the field, but to each position for which you're applying. Start by analyzing the job description for keywords that you can use in your resume and cover letter. Then consider how to best showcase your experience for the position. Do you have gaps in employment? Do you have a few jobs that are not relevant to the position? You may want to start your experience section with relevant experience instead of listing all of the jobs that you've had up to that point. Customize your skills section. Edit specific skills to read more universal. For example, experience managing Outlook calendars becomes experience in multi-calendar management using scheduling software. Even after you've perfected your power bullets, it's still a good idea to customize them for each position for which you're applying because different companies value different things. Include additional experience such as volunteering only if that experience is relevant to the position for which you're applying. And lastly, add your location, even when applying to a remote job, because it may benefit the company to know your location if they are doing some training and they might not want to spend additional money on travel and lodging. What you want to avoid is copying exact job announcements. Avoid including information that is not relevant. using too much industry jargon, because it's likely that your resume and cover letters will be read by a recruiter or a hiring manager who doesn't actually work within that field. And don't include references, because every line of your resume should provide recruiters or hiring managers with immediately useful information. So by a show of hands, how many of you know what ATS means? ATS in the context of the job search?
No, I haven't.
No?
Never heard of it.
Information. Thank you.
Me either.
Thank you. Okay, so it sounds like many of us have not heard of it, right? So what if I told you that 98% of all large organizations use ATSs to determine who meets minimum qualifications for the position? So that's Applicant Tracking Systems, right? And this is a software. This means that you're not guaranteed that there will be human eyes on your resume. In fact, 75% of resumes sent into these large companies using ATSs are never viewed by human eyes. That's why it's important for you to know how to beat the bots. Include your job role in your professional summary. So this is why it's important for you to really own the pivot, right? For example, you can say rising IT help desk professional, because often bots will look for the job title or a similar job title in your resume. Use simple formatting. Bots can't read bullets that are embedded below other bullets, so one simple bullet per accomplishment is best. Use standard headings, because ATSs are designed to read more traditional resumes. Remember that some ATSs don't have the capacity to read PDFs. 43% of resumes are submitted in an incompatible file type. So make sure that yours is compatible by reviewing the application submission instructions. ATSs may convert your resume into plain text. So if you do this first and fix any errors resulting from the change, you'll be ahead of the game. And finally, proofread your materials, because ATSs are designed to look for spelling and grammar errors. And avoid burying your contact information in the header. 25% of applicants do this, and because of that, they're disqualified. Avoid using fancy templates that can get scrambled, and avoid including graphics and charts that may be unreadable. 25% of applicants do this, and their information, which tends to be important if you're highlighting it, gets lost. And finally, to optimize your online job search, you can follow these steps. Search for truly entry-level jobs, which are more likely to match your skills and experience if you've never worked in IT or cybersecurity before. Include industry-specific sites in your search, like the ones you see on this slide. And sign up for customized job notifications when using online search engines. They'll send you email notifications when jobs that match your preferences are added, and will save you a lot of time. Update your LinkedIn profile and thoughtfully engage with prospective employers, hiring managers, and employees of target companies. And remember, we're going to have a workshop on this, so you don't need to do this on your own. The job application or website should tell you if it's okay to contact a hiring manager. If it's okay, there's no harm in scheduling a LinkedIn message and sending a LinkedIn message stating your interest and a few of your best qualifications, letting them know that you've applied and that you're looking forward to hearing from them. Manage settings to reveal that you're seeking work to recruiters on LinkedIn. There is some debate about the open to work campaign profile overlay that you can add to your pictures. It communicates that you're looking for a job to your network and to employers. However, some say that it may appear that you'll take any job and it might make you a less desirable candidate. But this is something to decide for yourself. You may have an amazing network and be able to find an opportunity this way. So just be thoughtful about how you use the tools that are provided. And remember, you can use Twitter to follow your target companies for the latest news and industry trends. And some companies are starting to post job announcements there. For a summary of what we've discussed today. Go ahead.
Good. I want to make one note about Twitter too. When you're looking, you don't have to have an account to look at somebody's Twitter page. So you can Google that, Google their Twitter page if you don't have an account.
Yes, that's right. For a summary of what we've discussed today, we've created a handout for you, which we'll drop in the chat now. And it is also linked in your workshop reminder email. Congratulations. I wish I had that confetti that you have when there's like when you send a text that says congratulations. You have reached the end of the presentation, and now it's time for our activity, which is to craft an updated professional summary. And the purpose of this activity is to help you own your pivot into IT or cybersecurity. You'll simply update or craft one sentence of your professional summary, which is typically a couple sentences. Refer to either the IT or cybersecurity job announcement, the list of transferable skills, and the examples of other summaries. So remember, you're just focusing on the first sentence. And here are the examples that we used previously. So we'll drop those links in the chat for you now. You will have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Feel free to use the chat to ask questions. We want to invite you to do what works best for you. So you may turn off your camera if that makes you feel more comfortable while you're working. If you have a direct question for me or for Priya, you can send us a chat directly or privately through Zoom. At the end of the activity, we can take 1 or 2 people to share their professional summaries. Continue to work on those, and you can bring them to our meetings, and we would love to sit down with you and go through them in detail. It's been a pleasure to present to you this evening, and now Priya will introduce us to the upcoming events.
Yeah, so we're really excited. Next Thursday at 6 p.m. to our virtual Ask Me Anything cybersecurity event. I know it's cybersecurity focused. Even if you're in the IT pathway, I will say that there's so much overlap between IT and cybersecurity. A lot of the people, some of our guest speakers attending have already worked inside IT, and they have experience in it, and they know people in it. So I will suggest, if you have not RSVP, the invite went out last week. Another one will be going out Friday. We will also put the RSVP link to it in the chat in a moment before you log off, so you can RSVP directly now. With this event, there's going to be 3 or 4 cybersecurity professionals from all different backgrounds. The one person helping us host it, he works at Netflix. We have someone at Malwarebytes, and we also have somebody who also owns his own company where they actually provide mentors for folks in the industry. So this is a great place. And Shukriya, if you have questions about where do I go to volunteer, they can give you all the access information and websites that you could probably access that way. So come with your questions. And what I will do is I'll add that question to our list next week, so they do target it, because we've heard that there is a need for that question. The next thing is to look out for in the month of January. We're going to have 2 other additional events that are going to be really cool. One of them is going to be networking tips and strategies, the leveraging LinkedIn. That's a workshop similar to this, but it's going to be really focused on LinkedIn. So all your networking questions, come to that one. That's going to be key and very helpful. So when Denise mentioned if the job posting is saying reach out to the hiring manager, this is a great workshop to come to say, what do I say? How do I introduce myself? What do I say? And so that's a great workshop for there. And then there's going to be a virtual event, another one coming up in January. We're finalizing the details right now, but we are going to have mastering a job interview with HR recruiters. So you'll get to actually see some job interviews happen in place, and you'll get to get feedback and tips on the best way to do that. And then what will come from after that is we are going to be setting up weeks after that some time to practice interviewing. So you're going to have a whole array of experience coming in and out of career services. So stay on top of your email, stay on top of looking at the portal, and then schedule a call with the coaches. After this event, you are going to get an email immediately about to fill out a survey. So we would love your feedback, because this only helps us make this workshop even better for you. Any questions that you still have lingering that you did not get answered today, we can help you. And the last thing is, this is recorded, and so we will send a link to this recording out tomorrow. So if you missed anything, you're also going to get the slides, so you can click all the links. So don't feel like you have to go through this chat and rapidly click all the links and open them on your computer. I know how that feels. You will get that in your email, so you can go back and look at the job descriptions and see all the other jobs that are posted as well.